Let me ask you something personal. Why don't you post your photos on social media? Or if you do, why does someone you know stay completely invisible online? In a world where people upload everything, their meals, their vacations, their mirror selfies, the people who don't post their photos are not just different. They're psychological outliers. And what their silence reveals might shock you. Stay with me, because the deeper we go, the more you'll see something about yourself you've never noticed. Section 1. Why this topic matters. Today, social media is more than entertainment. It's identity. It's validation. It's performance. Every picture is a tiny stage. Every post is a presentation. Every like is applause. But what happens when someone refuses to step on that stage? People start assuming they're insecure. They must hate how they look. They're hiding something. Something is wrong with them. But psychology says the opposite. In fact, many people who don't post photos are stronger, clearer, and more grounded than those who do. And after hearing this, you will never judge someone's online silence again. Section 2. Story setup. The person who never posts. Imagine this. You're at a table with friends. Everyone laughs, takes pictures, adjusts their hair, fixes their posture. And then there's that one person. No photos, no posing, no checking angles. They just watch the world. Present, calm, unbothered. Someone asks, "Why don't you ever post pictures?" They smile, say, "I just don't feel like it." But the truth behind that simple sentence is layered, deep, and profoundly psychological. Today, we break down those layers one by one. Section 3. Insight 1. Privacy over popularity. People who don't post photos value something rare: control. They don't want their face analyzed by hundreds of eyes. They don't want strangers forming opinions about their appearance. They don't want to constantly perform. According to modern psychology, these people have a strong privacy orientation, meaning they protect their inner world instead of displaying it publicly. They don't need to announce their life to feel good about their life. They don't crave attention. They don't chase validation. They choose privacy over popularity and peace over performance. Section 4. Insight 2. Self-esteem built from within. Here's something most people don't expect. People who avoid posting photos often have stronger internal self-esteem. Most people learn to feel good when others praise them. These people feel good because they praise themselves internally. They don't need likes, comments, shares, flame emojis, "You look good today" messages. Their validation isn't public, it's private. They're not looking for external validation. Their worth isn't determined by hearts or views. Don't post. This is called secure self-esteem, the rare kind that survives without an audience. Section 5. Insight 3. Deep thinkers, not show-offs. People who don't post aren't antisocial. They're selective. They don't feel the need to share every milestone, every event, every outfit. In psychology, this aligns with the internal locus of evaluation. They judge themselves based on their own standards, not the internet's. They keep their joy private. They keep their growth sacred. They don't stage their achievements. They live them. They don't need to show the world what they're doing because they're too busy doing. Section 6. Insight 4. Fear of judgment in a hyper-judgmental world. Now, here's a brutally honest truth. Posting a photo online is not simple anymore. It opens the door to criticism, comparison, judgment, gossip, analysis, body commentary, insecurity triggers. For some people, this is emotionally draining, not because they're weak, but because they're aware. They avoid photos not out of insecurity, but to avoid being judged, criticized, or misunderstood. Don't post. They choose emotional safety over digital approval, and that choice is strength. Section 7. Insight 5. The introvert advantage. Introverts often find social media exhausting. Not consuming it, but participating in it. Posting a photo requires energy, thinking, planning, posing, editing, responding, managing reactions, managing anxiety. For introverts, this is an emotional transaction, one they're not willing to pay for. They prefer peace over exposure, depth over performance, connection over attention. Sometimes silence isn't hiding, it's alignment. Section 8. Insight 6. They don't trust the digital audience. Some people have been judged too many times. Maybe someone mocked their appearance. Maybe someone compared them. Maybe someone took their photo out of context. So now they protect themselves. Not because they're scared, but because they've learned. They know the internet can distort anything. A smile can look fake. A serious face can look angry. A simple expression can be misinterpreted by thousands. To avoid this psychological chaos, they choose the silence that gives them control. Section 9. Insight 7. They understand the digital illusion. People who don't post photos are deeply aware of something others ignore. Social media is not real life. It's curated, filtered, edited, staged, performed, carefully constructed. They refuse to compare themselves to everyone else's highlight reel. This psychological awareness protects them from digital envy and low self-worth. They know social media distorts reality through constant comparison. Don't post. So they step out of the comparison game entirely. Ironically, that makes them emotionally stronger. Section 10. Insight 8. Authenticity over aesthetics. Some people simply don't see their identity through photos. They believe, my personality is who I am, not my face. My values define me, not my angles. My authenticity matters more than my aesthetics. Posting pictures feels fake, forced, performative. They want real connections, not applause. They want depth, not display. Section 11. Insight 9. They are lone wolves by choice. Here's the part people misunderstand most. These individuals aren't lonely. They aren't antisocial. They are not disconnected. They're self-sufficient. They are lone wolves by choice, not antisocial, but energetically discerning. Don't post. They don't chase attention. They don't compete for visibility. They don't seek approval. They move in silence because that's where they find clarity, creativity, strength. And when they choose to be seen, their presence hits harder. Section 12. They are evolving quietly. Sometimes the reason is simple. They're growing, changing, improving, healing, building something, becoming someone new. And when you're in a transformation season, you don't want an audience. Posting feels premature. Exposure feels fragile. They disappear, not because they're lost, but because they're leveling up. They're mastering, not missing.